Good afternoon and welcome to Gambakwe Media. I am Dr. Feddious Mutenheri. It is the 3rd of August 2023, making it exactly 20 days before the watershed harmonized elections in Zimbabwe. Today, common legal sense prevailed, in a case effectively pitting the CCC versus ZANU-PF. These are the two serious contenders in this harmonized election. This judgment in the first place was a weird one, unprecedented in the history of elections in our country and in the region and in countries that call themselves democracies, and which should never have been handed down by any serious court of law in the first instance, and a high court for that matter. The bogus and captured judgment had put paid to the ongoing perception, rather, of a captured judiciary in our country. And if you look at the amendment, that was the judicial amendment which was done in 2021, this, of course, had certified that indeed our judiciary is captured. If not captured, then this brazen clumsiness is a classic and comic show of brazen ineptitude and incompetence, and hence an indictment of our judiciary itself. Today's Supreme Court judgment, however, setting aside the High Court judgment, will reinvigorate the CCC campaign countrywide in general, and Bulawayo in particular, a constituency which had been dampened by this senseless and needless judgment. The High Court judgment was, of course, a ZANU-PF ploy, and we know that. A ZANU-PF strategy, rather, to continue to slow down the CCC fledgling campaign. It was to dampen the CCC campaign. How could a whole court of law, a court of justice, disenfranchise voters in 12 constituencies, and which are known to be a citadel or a hub of CCC support, on such flimsy grounds such as a mere deadline? And remember, ZEC itself had accepted these nominations, and in terms of allowing administration between the executive and those who are in those commissions, they should have let it go. I say it's a ploy to continue to slow down the CCC because they had already banned. This is in a milieu of a banning of many CCC rallies. We have seen so many of them being banned in Chiwi. We have seen banning of rallies in Bindura. We have seen attempts at banning their rallies in Gokwe there. So it's a continuation. These court processes are a continuation of the same. Now, keeping the CCC champions in court by ZANU-PF had a similar strategy to continue to slow down and to dampen the spirits of the devout CCC supporters. What should now follow after this Supreme Court judgment is a reversal of all the other incompetent and, I dare say, unlawful court decisions which have disqualified other candidates in other political parties and other political organizations, including the banning of the independent Xavier Kasukwere. The courts have no business in deciding matters which ordinarily should be decided by the electorate. The right to vote and to be voted for is a sacrosanct one and protected by the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Our captured judiciary should be reminded of the principle of separation of power between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And it is based on a real political will to keep these principles. Finally, the Supreme Court judgment today simply confirmed what the court of public opinion had already pronounced. Therefore, there is no distinction whatsoever in what the Supreme Court today in its judgment has said. We know ZANU-PF will now tell us that the courts are fair because they have given judgments which now favor CCC. Far from the truth, ZANU-PF realized they were in a corner. The High Court judgment could not be sustained in the light of election observer missions that are already in the country, who were watching from afar as this undemocratic system unfold. Right. This judgment would open similar court cases against ZANU-PF itself, and precedents would now have to be followed. In other words, even ZANU-PF candidates would now have to be disqualified if the same measure was going to be used. Above all, this judgment would have sealed the fate of this election as unfree and unfair, and therefore any re-election of Emmerson Mnangagwa would have been illegitimate again. Thank you very much. This was just a short editorial on today's historic judgment, setting aside the dubious High Court judgment which had barred the CCC 12 from contesting as candidates, MP candidates in Bulawayo. Thank you very much and a very good afternoon.